you go.
Anyway, so today we have a doctor in the house, as we told you. Tuko na Dr. Daniel Masafu from Brave Care. He's a speech pathologist and speech psychologist. So atakuwa akituambia about delayed development and pia learning disorders. Because there are people in school, unonanga ni kama there is something is wrong with them. But unakuta it's a learning disorder. So today we'll be talking about that. But hata before to get into that topic, tunataka tuambie about resting. Is it really important? The medical side ama ni sisi tu tunashinda hapa tukiwaambia ziseme sasa resting ya watu wenye wanapenda ku waste time will be getting that.
At the end idlers.
Na end idlers. Semeni tu mnataka kukaa chini kushinda hapa mkituambia tu rest.
There you go.
Yeah, so karibu sana daktari.
Asante.
And thank you for coming today.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So even as we start, tell us about resting. Tumongelea sana about resting here. So medical wise, is it really important to rest?
Yeah, medical wise, it's very important to rest. You need to have like at least some time for yourself. You need to have at least some time for yourself to get a good rest. Because this body is not like you're working the whole time. That is why even in the Bible, from the biblical perspective, we had Jesus having one day to rest. That was on a Sabbath day.
Yeah,
so we as a human being, you can't work 24 hours. There are some people who even get they work day and night. At the end of the day, you find these people they're losing what you call the emotional imbalance. Now, this is a person you cannot tell him anything or you cannot tell her anything because the mind is not working properly. Because if the mind is clogged, very good. So if the mind is clogged, then you don't have even time to reason on the things that you're supposed to do. But if you're having, for example, you are working from 8 in the morning up to 5 in the evening, that means that during that particular time, you had lunch, you had tea break, you had at least there are some breaks that are always there. So it gives you time when you are eating or when you're drinking or when you're doing anything or when you're running outside, it gives you time for your mind to contemplate on what you did so that the other things comes when it's fresh. So because when you're not getting rest, then it means that even your mind is not working. You will collide with people. You'll find that people are hating you because you are not giving them time. But when you get rest, your body rests, and when you're resting, now the mind is able to contemplate on what was happening. But now, if you're not resting, then it means that you're just putting your mind, like now you are, like let me say, for example, this ball. If you continue inflating the ball, it will burst. Now, when it bursts, now it means that it will pour everything that was outside. That is why you find someone who was, there are these people who works 24 hours. When you go asking them anything, they will pour to you so many words, poisonous words. So because they didn't, so everything that was going in now is coming out. And it will never be good. It will always be poisonous. So you need to have a rest. Even if it's a day, for the whole week, you have your own rest.
Mwelekezi, tulikuwa tunakwenda kutamatisha hilo wazo la kwamba mapumziko ni ya muhimu sana. Usio unasema ya kwamba ni kazi unafanya tu. Unataka kufanya kazi Monday to Monday. Hakuna muda ambao umetenga hata wa kuangalau ya kurelax kidogo. Hata ukienda lunch time unakula ni kama mtu ambaye umeshikiwa bunduki urudi ukafanya kazi. Unapata kwamba unakuwa someone who is emotional for nothing. Sometimes ukiulizwa swali, kwa sababu umejaza mambo ndani yako unalipuka mpaka mtu anashindwa. Hiyo
ni swali nilikuwa nimekuuliza kweli.
Zinaendana na hiyo jibu yenye umenipea. Unapata you are always very negative kwa sababu umejaa negativity.
And some people don't even go for lunch. Wanaonanga wana waste time. So they bring food, wanakula wakifanyanga kazi. Because you don't want to waste time. Umesikia umeambiwa you should go like kidogo once in a while. It's
Exactly.
good to rest for your emotional being.
Oh yes, that's why I show like
for that
Raushwa
time.
ni Monday to Friday.
Yes.
Ndivyo angalau
Because
for the 2
weekends-
days tujipange mambo ya next week.
Yeah.
Have you imagine Raushwa Monday to Monday?
Monday to Monday. Sometimes tungekujanga hapa tunaangaliana na nyinyi.
Kuja hapo
tunauliza,
upate wanaambia
aha.
wase God in
Otherwise-
soul. Yeah,
Yes.
wameshikana kichwa hata una kichwa hicho.
Sometimes unaongea vitu mpaka watu wanashanga.
Unajua nini ulikuwa unaambia
Uko
watu?
sure?
So
Yeah.
there you go. So tunaingia kwa the topic of discussion.
Yes, so
Yeah.
today we said we'll be talking about learning disorders and the issues of development while you're still young. Because I believe ziwanza when you're still young, ama? Yes. So, but we'll be starting with learning disorders. And we said that ukiwa hapo nyumbani, as a student, as a parent, tell a friend that we are on air na tunaongelea mambo ya learning disorders.
Yeah.
You can send your questions, you can send your feedbacks kwa 0721105105, 23814 or MBCI TV Facebook page. Tuanzie hapo kwa learning disorders. Tukiongelea learning disorders, what exactly
Thank
do
you.
you mean?
Asante sana. We have learning, it's called learning disabilities.
Learning disability.
Yes, learning disabilities. Now, when we come to learning disabilities, ziko around 7. We have around 7 learning disabilities, of which people tend to think it is a problem that affects a person holistically. Yani inasumbua, tuseme affecting ni kuathiri mtu kijumla. But now here it ni specific areas. We will be tackling specific areas of learning disabilities.
Okay.
One of the most common learning disability is called dyslexia. Dyslexia is the inability for somebody to read, like difficulty reading. Wakati tulikuwa shule tulikuwa tunaambiwa kwamba Mr. fulani hebu nisomee, tulikuwa tunasoma paragraphs.
Yeah.
So unapata huyo mtu anang'ang'ana kabisa kusoma. Anaweza tumia like 30 minutes, mtu umesoma kwa 3 seconds ya anatumia a very long time. So that difficulty in learning or in reading is what we call dyslexia. The difficulty in reading. And this person is not affected visually, anaona vizuri, intelligence yake iko sawa, lakini kukuja kusoma kwa kitabu hawezi. So that is dyslexia.
So what causes that? Yes, na intelligence.
Kila kitu. Sasa yeye disability yake ni dyslexia. It affects the part of reading ya mtu.
Okay.
So if somebody is affected, part ya reading imekuwa affected, then tunasema ya kwamba this person has dyslexia. Now that is the condition yenye imeaffect huyo mtu. Lakini vitu zingine zote ako sawa. This is what I want to say. Most of the learning disabilities doesn't affect any other part. It affects specific areas. Yeah, another one is called the dysgraphia. Now dysgraphia in affect kuandika peke yake. The writing part, ile ya anasoma lakini kuandika
is the issue.
Ni issue. Now this is where most people fall. Because wengine wanasema huyu mtu atakuwa daktari. Hakuna udaktari hapo. You see? Jamaa anachukua tu kalamu anaandika kwa sababu hataki mtu mwingine aelewe kile ambacho anaandika. Now that is dysgraphia. Umeona wakati tulikuwa shule.
Tuna writing yenye si, you know.
No, that one is not dysgraphia.
Okay.
Sorry. Now dysgraphia affects the comprehensive part of writing.
Okay.
Hiyo peke yake.
Kujua unafaa kuandika nini.
Yafaa uandike nini. Umesikia lakini putting it down
is the issue.
Is the problem.
So
Umeona kwa blackboard,
it's what you write.
You saw it in the blackboard but putting it down, now it becomes a problem.
Okay.
You see?
Allah.
Inakuwa ni ngumu. Si eti hujaona, you have seen. Umeona? Na if a teacher tells you if a teacher tells a learner to repeat, that person will repeat perfectly. but now putting it down, it becomes a problem.
Okay.
And most of these people are very notorious in class. They will always look for a rubber to start rubbing. You see, they pick, if a teacher sees such a learner in class, know that this is not normal. Huyu jamaa akona shida, sasa ni wewe ufanye nini? Umsaidie. Ni mwalimu amsaidie. But most teachers of special needs education knows that. We also have dysclalia. Dysclalia is a difficulty in putting words together. For example, there are some who write the word Daniel going backward. Umeona?
Okay.
Yes. So ataandika L-E-I-N hivyo.
Akirudi na huku nyuma.
Akirudi na nyuma. Ama when the lines are there, this person will write.
Okay.
This person will not concentrate on the line. The line will not be like continuous. Ataandika ikienda
kwingine.
Outside the line. Yes. Outside the line. Now that one is also a learning disorder. Now some people tend to think that autism is a learning disorder. Autism is not a learning disorder.
Okay.
That is completely different. It's not a learning disorder. And though most kids with autism, or half of them, they have learning difficulties because of the condition, because of the neurodevelopmental condition. But this one doesn't affect the learning of an autistic child. Because an autistic child can do learning very, very perfect. Anaweza soma, anaweza fanya vitu zake vizuri, akuwe na mwandiko mzuri. In fact, most autistic kids have very good handwriting. If only they concentrate on what they're doing. But now, when it comes to learning disorders, it makes it difficult for some for a person to learn, even if that person is very normal. Yes. We also have another one called auditory processing. Auditory processing. Auditory processing is like this. Mwalimu ameita kamiti. Badala ya wewe kuitika useme yes teacher, unaangalia Rachel.
Na nimeitwa na mwalimu.
Umeitwa na mwalimu. Sasa inamaanisha wewe haukusikia kamiti, ulisikia Rachel.
Really?
You see, that is how auditory processing works. You heard Rachel. So you are telling Rachel, hey, teacher anakuita. You never heard kamiti.
Yet kamiti ndiye ameitwa.
Kamiti ndiye ameitwa.
It happens.
Yes, it does. Now that is what we call auditory processing. The auditory processing hears things negative, like vice versa, ama sijui nitasema aje. Kinyume na vile matarajio ya wewe usikie.
Yanafaa kuwa.
Yafaa usikie.
Okay. So what about in a normal conversation? You had to get what I'm saying.
It will be very hard for this person to have like one-on-one communication with this person. So it will be like this person mostly reads on pictures. Yeye atasoma sana sana kwa picha. Ama kwa kitu ambacho yeye mwenyewe anakipata. For example, if you put an auditory processing person kwa picha, huyu mtu ataifuata vizuri, lakini kwa kusikia inakuja ni negative. Haisikii venye wewe yani the processing of the audiology yake iko vice versa na vile wewe unaweza kuipata.
Alright.
So that is some of the
else yake
iko sawa. Ni hiyo tu kusikia. Unaona kuna mtoto anaitwa na mzazi anaweza ita hata 100 times. Mtoto asikii. Si eti asikii, processing yake haiko hapo.
Yaani yeye si kiziwi kabisa.
Si kiziwi, lakini the processing ya mambo yake yeye ni vice versa na vile wewe unasema. Anasema, for example, you have said done, yeye anasema come. So yeye anakuja.
Okay.
Anakuuliza, you called me.
Naambia no.
No, I told you bring me the cup. I did not call you. I think we have had such a like people. Unakwambia, somebody comes anakwambia, give me the pen. Yeye anakuletea kitabu. Unasema no, I did not say bring me the book. I said bring me the pen. You see, that is how the process. Yes.
Na yuko hivyo na si kupenda kwake.
Si kupenda kwake.
Is it rectifiable?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Now we will come to those areas
right.
whereby these people can be helped.
Okay.
Now we have language processing disorder. Language processing disorder makes sentences that are complicated. The sentences that don't make sense. Somebody makes, for example, writes a sentence, but that sentence is not making sense. The sentence is like, instead of saying, I'm going home, this person is saying maybe something that is very different with what you should learn, or with what you should write, you should read.
Okay.
So you find that this sentence is completely different from what this person wants to express. So it becomes a very different thing. The process of language is different, written and also verbal.
Okay.
Yes. So it means that if you're not verbalizing, if you're unable to verbalize, then it means that even writing will be a problem.
An issue.
So the sentence construction of this person is going to be totally different with what we just expect.
Okay.
So we also have another one, non-verbal learning disability, difficult with motor. Non-verbal will always be difficult with motor skills. Motor skills need to like your motor ability maybe to hold something becomes a problem. So that one we call non-verbal learning disability. Visual, spectral, social skills, it also affects the social skills of that person. That is non-verbal learning disability. It affects the social skills of a person. Maybe you find this person trying to separate a lot with others because the self-confidence is not there. This person is not able to express himself well. So anajitoa kwa watu. Na wakati anajitoa kwa watu kunakuwa na ile low self-esteem. So when the self-esteem goes down, this person will not be able to learn well because anaona ya kwamba watu wamemtenga.
Okay.
Yeah, another one is visual perceptual. Visual perceptual means seeing things differently. This is a dog, you're seeing a cat. So you don't differentiate a cat and a dog.
It actually happens.
Yes.
Okay.
So that one is also a learning disorder. Or a teacher has written the word R and you are seeing another different letter. For example, D, instead of you seeing D, you are seeing B. Instead of you seeing Y, you are seeing U. You see, so that is a challenge that affects learning also.
Okay.
Yes. Maybe up to there. Do you have any question?
Do we, I wanted to ask, in all those conditions, nigani ni very common na watu wengi?
Dyslexia.
Ah.
Dyslexia is very common because it's reading is now, that is when a teacher will realize that this child is not able to read. And speech.
Okay.
Those are very common.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing.
So somebody will just be talking things that are not, somebody cannot understand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now when we go to the remedy, what can you do ukipata kwamba labda uko na mtu ambaye ako na one of those challenges?
Now, if we find that this person is having a challenge, the only remedy is to look for the most teachers don't understand that a child is going through a problem. But now teachers are also supposed to consult because they are the first caregivers of these children in school.
True. They're
supposed to know that we have special needs. And special needs is a broad perspective.
Yeah.
So if they can, if someone can notice that my child is having this difficulty, it's good to consult with the teacher. Na huyu mwalimu amweleze mtoto wake venye yuko. Then it's also good to look for a special needs teacher ili aweze walk through the journey na mtoto wako. Because even the teachers don't understand some of these conditions. If it's not a special needs teacher, then it means that this child cannot be helped. Atagrow hivyo, mwalimu anamsukuma, society namsukuma, kila mtu anamsukuma, anasema huyu mtoto haelewi, but at the end of the day this child is having a problem ambayo ni learning disability. So it's good for if a parent learns that my child is having this difficulty, it's good for you to look for a special needs teacher or a child psychotherapist ili aweze kukua device,
Yeah.
vile huyu mtoto anaweza kugrow. A developmental therapist aweze kukusaidia aone kwamba huyu mtoto wangu ana grow, but this is how you can do, and this is the far you can go, and this is not far, this is not what is done, because most learning disabilities are not easy to be corrected. Unless a child is like walked step by step when ni mdogo.
Okay.
But this is something that in a grown na huyu mtoto correct, it becomes a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means at a young age, you can realize that a child has a certain problem, but you walk the journey. No.
Yeah.
So walking the journey, you gani, like for example, a kid who's unable to maybe read, what am I supposed to do, or write? What am I supposed to do to rectify it?
If a child is not able to write or to read, what we need is what you call consistency. If you be consistent on what you're doing, this child will learn one after the other. But you know, most of these children, we say there is no consistency because nobody is following them up.
Okay.
So they will grow with those challenges up to the old age, and then maybe they maneuver their way out. Maybe somebody becomes a footballer, or somebody becomes a painter or something, and that is how they succeed with life. Because we have said the learning disability doesn't affect a child holistically.
Yeah.
It only affects the part of learning.
Yeah.
That is a specific part of learning. Even if this child will grow with that disability, then it means that this child will find a way out to survive, so that he becomes a holistic person in the community, or a more important person in the community.
Okay.
Most of them becomes good businessmen, others footballers. They grow to be good people in the society.
Yes.
And what causes all now the learning disabilities? Because we've seen people who are normal. So what causes the disabilities?
Now, most of these disabilities are genetic. They are genetic, as in they are hereditary. Maybe it is inherited.
Yeah.
So you know, something that is inherited, that means that it cannot be reversed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Psychologists have it right, but don't quote me wrong. They have it right that the woman is the one that carries the ability of a child academically.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes. It's not, you know, we men, we don't have an academic gene. We only carry the other genes, but we don't have the academic gene. So you find
Hiyo ni ya mama.
Hiyo ni ya mama. It's not, if somebody brags that I'm very bright, you know, if I brag today that I'm very bright because my dad is like so and so, then it means that I'm lying. Even if my mama is a housewife, it means that that woman was very sharp.
Yeah.
So I'm carrying the brain of my mama. It's not the brain of my daddy.
Ya baba ni gani?
Hizo zingine zote. Hizo zingine zote.
Okay.
Yes. So you see,
That's
Nice.
so the brain, the mama is the one that carries the gene of a child's brain.
Okay.
But the big percentage.
Wow.
Yes.
Kuna mtu hapa anasema kitu yenye ni very nini, anasema hello, anasema anatoka Murang'a, anaitwa Tabii. I have a question. Anasema there is a kid I had. He was in class, and when he was told to read or write anything on the board, he will say that the letters are flying. What kind of a learning disability is that? Atanaona ni kama letters zina.
That is visual.
Oh, that is visual.
Yes, that is visual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seeing
That's
what
visual.
is not
Seeing
there.
what is not there. You sing different. You sing a different.
Ni ana imagine ama
Sasa,
ni macho yake.
That is now the disability maybe in direct ya kwamba it is and it could also be dyslexia.
Yeah.
It could also be dyslexia because this is difficult in reading and learning.
Yeah.
So anajaribu tu kutafuta mbinu ya kuambia mwalimu mimi naona mambo ina fly. Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. Wonderful.
Raushwa, good morning.
Uh-huh.
Yes, that happens a lot. kuna wakati my son pia alikuwa na hiyo shida. Unajaribu kumsomesha kitu mpaka unakasirika. Then later ndivyo nikakuja nikaambiwa si ati ni the son ndivyo anataka kukua, ni vile ambavyo ako na hiyo condition. So I had to be very very patient with him. Thank God siku hizi ameanza kuoneshana improvement. Alright, sawa. Tumeona ukisema lako jina kule ambako unatoka. Anasema pia mtoto wake alikuwa hivyo. Ule mwenye unainsistia kitu hata ikiwa hapo. Unamwambia si nimekuonesha tu saa hii. Hii alafu anakuambia vitu zake hata alikuwa anaboeka. But anasema after aliambiwa what could be the issue, aka understand is a condition, akakuwa very patient na kwamba mtoto ameanza kuimprove.
Yeah. That is patience and consistency.
And consistency.
Mtoto anakuwa sawa.
Yeah.
And I have a question.
Yes.
With the disability, visual. How can I train someone to see? Like, angalia, you literally can't see this is like you and not why. How do you correct that?
Yeah,
because now it's visual.
You see, now this is something that most people don't understand. You know, a disability is something that you need to be very patient. Because if it's visual na haoni vizuri, mupe nafasi yake, be consistent. Muulize hii ni nini, arudie. Hii ni nini? You have to be so consistent. Si ati sasa ni leo unakasirika,
unaachana na
chapa kofi, no, you have to be very consistent. And very patient. There is no reverse in learning disability. You have to be patient and consistent. That is the only thing.
All right.
Whether you are a parent or whether you are a teacher, you cannot do anything. You just have to be patient and consistent. But once that child picks up, he becomes or she becomes the best.
Exactly. Because I remember in high school, not high school, in primary school, wakati tulikuwa venye umesema hapa, wakati tulikuwa tunaambiwa tusome ufahamu labda kwa Kiswahili. Unapata mtu anasoma kitu yenye haiko hapo. Yaani mpaka mnakasirika mpaka wanafunzi.
Yes.
Juu amesema neno yenye haiko hapo. Mpaka mwalimu anamuuliza, sasa hiyo neno umetoa wapi? Iko wapi? Mwalimu anaenda hapo. Maybe by then teachers didn't know it's a condition.
Yeah, sure.
So ilikuwa ni makofi na nini, kwenda kupiga magoti staff room. So every time tukiambiwa nani atasoma nini, ukiona ameinua mkono amechaguliwa, mnaanza kujam mapema. Kwa sababu unajua mtakaa kwa hiyo paragraph sana akisema vitu hakuna. So mtashinda mkimcorrect. Si hakuna hiyo. You know, we never used to know what was wrong, kumbe it was a disability.
Yeah, that is a learning disorder.
Wow.
All right. Mwingine hapa anasema naitwa Charlotte kutoka Kilifi. Anasema good morning.
Good morning.
What about mtoto unamfunza kitu sahiyo then ukimuuliza tena ashasahau completely? Is that a disability?
Yes, that is a dysgraphia. The ability for a child to not comprehend when something has been said and also written. So it is either dyslexia or dysgraphia. Now you have to go and do the test for you to understand between those conditions. But this one is a child is not able to contemplate on something. It means that it's auditory, whereby a child is not able to comprehend on what you are saying. So that is auditory disability. But if it is corrected, because a learning disability can come either 3 or 4 in one, or it comes only one. So it becomes very difficult for you to understand which part of a condition that my child is having. But when a child comes for assessment, now we will know that this child is having a specific condition. But now the other ones have just come because of maybe woga, ama amefinyiliwa, ametishwa. So the others are just coming in. Because if you keep on telling, nitakuchapa, nitakuchuna, nitakwambia, wengine hata anaambia mtoto. I remember when I was in class 3, I was threatened by a certain teacher, and she was good. May God rest her soul in peace, because she died. Now, this mama could tell me to shika masikio. You know, you take your hands over there, then you hold. You sweat bana.
Unasema mpaka unajivolontu unamwambia mimi nichape tu chini because it was.
Sasa angekwambia ushike masikio na a frog march. Kwa ofisi. So you go to class, you have forgotten everything the whole day. You see, you get confused the whole day.
You're traumatized.
You are traumatized. Now that traumatization is what caused some of us to have learning disabilities. You see, because the trauma. You could be traumatized to a point whereby now what am I doing in this? Even sometimes you go to school, if not being taken by a parent, you just sneak, and then you stay in the maize plantation. You stay there mpaka saa 7 ama saa 8. Wewe unachomoka wakati unaona wengine wanapiga kelele, unachomoka pia unafuata wao uende nyumbani. So because of that traumatization during our time, we had some disabilities in learning, but now it was through trauma. Now, but today the learning disabilities are just there, because even during our time they were there, but now knowing them was now another challenge, because no teachers were able to know that this is a challenge that these children are going through.
So that means ya kwamba mtoto anaweza kuwa sawa, but vile mwalimu atadili na yeye apate labda trauma na imsababishe kuanza
now also stress and depression. We should differentiate between stress and depression in academics or in learning and learning disabilities and conditions. Because if you put a pressure on a child when this child is in school, then it means that mtoto atapata what we call trauma or stress. Now that becomes a different story. Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Anasema that's an eye opener. Thank you so much for that. It happens a lot, and especially during our days in high school. Kumbe hata nyinyi mlishikishwa masikio. Hiyo mwenye hakushika, Mungu alimsaidia.
Mimi sikushika, at least that one I was lucky.
And it was so crazy.
Anasema anaitwa Sarah. Anasema je, mtu akiwa anasoma vizuri lakini hiyo kichwa kuna kitu inashika. What's the problem?
Now that one is a learning disability. Yes. Learning.
So,
now
learning.
This one affects reading. Reading, somebody reads very well, but to comprehend things, it becomes a problem. That is dysgraphia. Comprehending things, it becomes a problem.
Okay, so you read, but you can't get anything.
Haupati chochote. We unasoma tu for the sake of reading, but now to comprehend, it becomes a problem.
Yes.
Okay.
Mwingine hapa anasema hi, and what is chanione mwingine, alafu hiyo nyingine nitaipitia kwanza. Nina swali, nina mtoto ana issue na speech. Ako 6 years now. Ako PP2, but shuleni ako na challenge. So nafikiri kwamba sijui speech yake ni vile ambavyo anazungumza ama ni nini. Hiyo haikutokea. Nimempeleka therapy but sioni change. What other option can you advise me? All right.
Now, if a child is having a speech problem, it's good for you to do the assessment of the speech, which part of speech is affected, so that you work on something that is specific. You know, most people go to speech therapist, they don't know exactly what is the problem. Maybe alienda tu akaambiwa look for a speech therapist. It's good for you, if you start speech therapy, it's good for you to have a report from developmental pediatrician or radiologist to give you the specific area whereby the speech pathologist is going to work on. But now if you don't have a specific area, it becomes a problem. Maybe umeenda kwa occupational therapy ambaye anakufanyia hiyo speech, haelewi mambo ya speech, so yeye anajaribu kubambanya kitu na hakuna kitu itatoka. Recently we were talking as speech pathologist. Tukapata ya kwamba most children are not improving because they are not getting specific the right people to work with them. Maybe somebody is saying, okay, I know part of speech, but haelewi undani wa speech. So huyu mtu anabambanya, anajaribu, at the end of the day hakuna kitu ambayo inatoka positive. So it becomes you're just working on something that you don't even understand. So it's good for you to look for the right people to work with your child to get the positive results.
Nice. So it could be a part of the speech, speech to generally.
Because kama anasema mtoto anaongea. So it means there are specific areas of that speech that needs to be corrected.
Okay. Sawa sawa, anasema anaitwa Esther from Embu. Anasema can such a disorder or such disorders affect a person up to an adult age?
Most of the time it affects, because this is something that will go for lifetime, but you will always find somebody having a way to survive so that hiyo kitu ikuwe suppressed. But ikifika ukubwa, nobody will understand that this person is having a disorder. Because huyu mtu hataandika, hatasoma, hautamlazimisha asome. Sasa nothing will be seen that you have a disability. Yes.
Anasema yeye alikuwa anapita mtihani kitambo, but right now hawezi akasoma na hawezi akaelewa chochote wakati ambapo anafanya studies. Na kitambo alikuwa tu sawa.
That is depression.
Oh.
Okay.
If you are really doing a good job in class and all of a sudden it comes down, then it means that you need to look for psychologist akusaidie, because that is depression. Huyo mtu either kwa anxiety disorder or depression or stress or mood changing or mood distractors, something that distract the moods when this person is going to learn or to read or to do something with learning. So huyo lazima tu aangaliwe ili aweze kusaidiwa.
So there's an interference somewhere.
Yes.
So it can get to that extent that you can't even learn.
Yeah, you can't. Because if somebody is having stress, it will alter the moods. Even learning becomes a problem. You see? So you cannot understand anything.
Okay.
Yes. Or this person is even having what you talked about, sleeping disorder. If you're having sleeping disorders, then it means that you are not going to have learning with you. So sleep, as you said, sleep is one of the key things, or rest is one of the key things in academics. Yes.
Okay.
So if you don't get enough sleep,
yes,
utaboronga mambo sana kwa darasa.
Kitu chenye utashika.
That goes to the high school students wenye mnatokanga preps, mnaenda mnafanya extension kwa dormitories mpaka 1, alafu mnaamka 4, alafu naenda preps, then the whole day tena kwa class.
Hakuna kitu sasa hapo.
Good, mko nyumbani. Now you know that you really need to rest. It's important. Ndio maana member mwende preps mpaka 10 and not 1.
Wende ulale mpaka hiyo 5.
You go relax.
Yes.
I remember there was a time we were in class, now that you have mentioned that. And then there was someone that I won't mention the name. Tumekaa tu, tulikuwa tunafanya exam. Either ilikuwa cut or something. Then all of a sudden, akashout, akapiga mayowe. Mara kama 3. Like, we actually thought she was dying. So, unajua kila mtu ananyamazanga tu jua nini imefanyika kama nini. So baadaye wakati ambapo alikwenda akaongeleshwa nini ikajulikana ya kwamba ni kama alikuwa mind ilikuwa imeclog na vitu vingi, mpaka macho ilikuwa imeanza kuwa red, ni kama hakuwa analala vizuri, sijui ilikuwa ni nini. So I think ni kama alifika pale sasa tena umemletea mtihani. I think it was too much. Like ni kama ilimfanya akakuwa ungefikiri ni kuruka amerukwa na akili. And then after some time, after alienda akaongeleshwa nini akatulia na akarelax na akaanza kusema sasa na feel so good, ameanza kulala on time. So I think alikuwa amejistress na mambo mengi. So tena kuona mtihani labda akaona swali moja lenye haelewi. Venye ulisema mpira
akabasi sasa.
Akabasi.
But you know that shouting is very important. Even you.
Hiyo yenye ya kukaa hivi sikia kama unataka kupiga.
If you feel like you're so stressed up. If you feel like
sasa you're so stressed up.
If you feel like you're very stressed up, just go jifungie kwa nyumba. Shout. Alafu your depression.
What does it do?
It makes you feel good. You just feel relaxed. You know, when you shout like a mad person, ukimaliza utacheka. You know, laughing is medicine bwana.
Yeah, laughing.
Because
so lazima nijifunike na
scream. Kwani nilicheka hivyo kwa nini? You know, now you start reflecting on what you did. Yes.
Nasikianga hata kusema nasikia kuscream.
Scream.
Atuende mahali upige nini tatu.
Yes, urudi ukiwa sawa.
Itakurelease stress zako, by the way. It will.
It can be a remedy.
Yes, it can be a remedy. But now it's good for you to look for psychological support.
Wow.
Yeah. Because we will always look for a solution for you to come out of it. And the best one, not shouting anyhow in the streets.
I'm Caroline. I've noticed that my daughter akona issue na D na B. She mixes the alphabet and she can't write some words well. Can that be an issue anyway?
Yes, that
wanauliza.
is an issue.
That's
That
an
is
issue already.
dyslexia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Naona mwingine anasema anauliza huyu mwenye anasoma but haelewi anything, atafanyaje asaidike?
Mtoto.
No, I think she's an adult, anasoma but anaona
Ashikanishi.
what's happening but get anything.
Ni adult.
Yes, she's an
Huyo,
adult.
that one has a problem. Wacha tu atafute psychologist akae na yeye chini ya msaidi.
So a psychologist will help.
Yeah, will help.
All right.
Will really help.
Anasema asante for the answer. Alafu anasema can a child suffer speech, autism and delayed development at the same time?
Yeah, but now autism, if a child is having autism, then it means that huyu mtoto ako autistic, the learning disabilities zake ni tofauti. Yes, si sawa na autistic characteristics za autism.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Learning difficulties are not autism. I said it. Nikasema learning difficulty is not autism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though half of kids with autism suffer learning disorders.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But autism, it's not the
No,
actual
it is
learning.
not
So
the
those are
actual
two different
They are two different
Yes.
things.
conditions.
Yes, they are two
Okay.
different conditions.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm asking the reason for seeing things are not balanced or leveled. What will be the problem? For instance, you are reading. Huyu ni kama so ati anaona vitu haziko balance, so sijaelewa ni aje ama haziko level moja.
Huyo ni atafute daktari wa macho amsaidie.
Si ndio?
Yes. Hiyo ni shida ya macho.
Yes, it could be.
Hiyo si shida ya
si
hiyo
learning
that is not
disorder.
learning disorder.
Yeah.
All right. So kuna mwingine anasema hi.
Hi.
Anaitwa Lucy April. Okay. Anasema anaitwa Lucy April. Anasema my child anasoma vizuri but writing is a problem. And also reading ukimpea anything is an issue. What could be the problem? So I think akona haizi kuandika
na pia kuvisualize,
yeah.
na pia kuinterpret. Now it becomes that those are dyslexia, dysgraphia, na that is audiology problem pia iko hapo.
So one would have more than like
3,
two,
even
3.
2, yes.
Okay.
2 to 3 conditions in one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Una ni kama anasema mtoto wake ana mazoea ya kwamba anapenda mchezo too much such that nikaribia kila siku akifika nyumbani ndivyo atakumbuka amesahau viatu na hata mavazi na bag shule.
Huyo mtoto ako na behavioral issues.
Oh.
That is not learning disability. Those are behavioral issues too. Yeah, those are behavioral issues.
Zenye anafaa kudu sasa nini?
Atafute an ABA.
Okay.
Behavioral therapist amsaidie.
Oh.
Yes.
All right. There
Because
you go.
If a child is forgetting things and leaving things, that is just what we call the carelessness of a child.
Yeah.
That is now becomes a behavioral issue ambayo mtoto yafaa arekebishwe mapema. That is why unapata ya kwamba if it's a boy, he becomes a very irresponsible man in future. Now you need to correct. We are advocating for a boy child to be trained to be a man.
Yeah.
Not a baby mama, a baby boy. Because if this child grows knowing that I'm a man, I'm supposed to be responsible,
Yeah.
I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to put things in order. And most boy child now, most of the boys now are being neglected, and even the behaviors they're lacking behaviors.
Yeah.
No, it becomes a problem because a boy child is supposed to be responsible. Now people are saying a girl child is supposed to be responsible. Now if a girl child becomes responsible, this girl is going to overpower this man. And now we lack
Who is responsible?
Yeah.
who is responsible. Now a man is supposed to be responsible before the woman becomes responsible, because a woman will always calm down. So if mwanamke ndiye anaonekana ako responsible, then it means that this man is useless. So that child is supposed to be responsible.
Okay.
Ambiwe ya kwamba
atrainiwe
from
from
this
an early age. Okay.
Hope it's a boy.
Yeah. Mimi nasoma but mtihani ikifika hivi tu ni kumaanisha
Nothing.
yeah. anasoma kabisa but every time exam ikifika.
Now, that child or that student should at least know what is the problem. Anaweza kuwa kona panic attacks, panics, ana panic wakati wa mtihani. This child is panicking, and when you panic during an exam, you will not perform.
Yeah.
So that is panic disorder. So when you have panic disorder, then it means that you will not comprehend what you're reading. Actually, utasoma uelewe, but when it comes, you see the exam paper, you panic, and that is now how you get off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And let's talk about this panic disorder kidogo. 'Cause I've seen in high school we had a lady who was very okay, akiwa peke yake ako tu sawa, but every time amesubjectiwa to anything small anakuwa na panic mpaka mbele ya class.
Yes.
She couldn't stand before people. Is it a disorder that can be managed?
Now, hiyo inakuwa managed for wewe ujipange vizuri. The only solution for you to avoid panic disorders is whereby plan yourself well, tell yourself that I'm going to sit for an exam, I don't need panics, I need to be sober, prepare yourself well. Isifike kama wewe ni mtu wako uko na panic disorders, isifike hiyo siku ya exam ndio unaenda kutafuta raba, unatafuta kalamu, unatafuta penseli, it mess you double. Because now you are not prepared. Means that you are not ready. But look for a pen, weka pale, tafuta raba, weka pale. Tulikuwa na very cheeky guys tukiwa high school. Huyu jamaa anachukua kalamu yako anaficha. You see? So unaona tu, yani we have just people who are hii mambo yako kuwa na people who are just cheeky. Sometimes pia ina lead kwa watu kukua na hizo panic attacks or panic disorders. So you should look for who are your friends. Are they the cheeky ones that will mess you up during the exam day?
Exactly.
Be on a positive have positive vibes with your friends. So that isifike time ya exam jamaa amekufichia kalamu, mwingine amechukua sijui kitabu yenye ulikuwa usome, na ilikuwa inafikana tu wakati wa exam jamaa anachukua, tulikuwa tunakuwa notebooks notebook unatafuta haupati, wakati umemaliza tu exam pap unaipata kwa desk yako. Now you see you just
unajua mtu anakumesia na future
ana mess tu kabisa. So you should know the type of friends you have, and you should, the most important thing, prepare yourself well when you're going for the exam.
Exactly. Tukifunga na huyu anasema morning, if someone is able to read and write but is unable to speak fluently, hapo kwanza pia kuna issue. Is that a disability? Mary kutoka Juja K Road. You can write, in English, vizuri until it reaches a point whereby now you have to speak the same English you have written there.
No, that's a speech disorder.
That's a speech disorder.
Yes, that's speech disorder. This person is having speech panic, speech disorder. Yaku ana express vizuri. Most of those people are what you call they are writers, writer ile they write for public writing. So they are very good in that, but when it comes to speech they don't have. They don't know how to express themselves. They have what you call the low self-esteem. When you have low esteem, then it means that you cannot express yourself correctly.
That is true.
All
right, tukifunga hapo.
So huyu anasema, anaitwa Margaret, anasema mtoto wangu anasoma vizuri, but every time ikifika during exams she's always the last. So yeye kusoma anasoma vizuri, but during exams her daughter is usually the last. Margaret from Lanet.
Let teachers understand, let parents understand that there is the difference between reading and putting it in paper. You see, if a child is having good English, we have very people, even us, sisi tulikuwa na Kiingereza kibaya sana tukiwa shuleni. You see? Now it means that, and most of the children that were very fluent in English hawakuwa wana perform. So unapata ya kwamba there is no correlation between the English speaking and writing. So it means that huyo mtoto akona a learning disorder ambayo yafaa utafute ili tuweze kujua ni nini kinasumbua huyo mtoto.
All right.
So most of these performances in our schools si kuangalia tu na kusema ya kwamba huyu anakuwaga tu danda hata ukimwona hapa kuna kitu anashikanga. There is something yenye inamfanya ana perform the way ana perform.
Very true.
And it's something that can be rectified with the right approach.
The right approach, yes.
Not just caning and calling names and saying you are like your father.
Yeah, no.
You know?
Wow.
I think we have left delayed milestones, which are very important.
Yeah.
Maybe I just go through them very fast.
All right.
Delayed milestones, we have delayed speech, we have developmental. I'll just go through them very fast.
Yes.
Intellectual disability, maybe if you see anything that you want me to talk about. Autism spectrum disorder, social communication, developmental language disorder, and social desperation. Those are the delayed milestones in a child. Those ones. Then the type of milestone, physical milestone. We have the cognitive milestone. We have the communication milestones, social and emotional milestones, and those are the milestones. Now, how to treat these conditions? We have the physical therapy, if it is for the development. We have occupational therapy for the fine motor. There is one for the hand. Then speech therapy for speech. And we have early childhood special education and the behavioral therapist. Behavioral therapy. So all those falls under the conditions that we have talked on, and the developmental milestones that we have not talked on, but maybe we will have some other time to discuss more about.
That's very correct. I think that's also a topic on its own.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, the delayed milestones kwa mtoto, because wakati mwingine unasikia mzazi anasema mtoto wangu atasimuelewi. Sasa mimi nafikiri tangu nimemzaa anafaa kuwa anafanya ABCD but yuko tu pale pale. Na sidhani kuna kitu kichache. Tulienda hospitalini tukaambiwa mtoto wako sawa. Tukaambiwa tungoje. Tumengoja mpaka tumechoka. So maybe also that's a topic that maybe we can have time allocated so that we discuss in time. Ndivyo mzazi akiona mtoto wake ana behave in a particular way yenye ni contrary na expectations zake ajue what to do.
Yes. Now what we have just talked about is intellectual, what we have been talking about, intellectual milestone. If you see that a child intellectually is ana delay kidogo, give this child time so that musimpush sana, because it can inaweza funguka pale mbele. So give a child, we have been talking about the learning disability, which is an intellectual milestone. An intellectual milestone takes time to grow. And all we need is patience.
Yes, patience.
I remember we had a student ambaye from around class 1 mpaka around class 5. He was always the last.
Yes.
Mimi sijaiona muujiza kama huo, because that to me is a miracle. He was always there and nobody even considered him, nobody cared. Wacha nikuambie, by the time tunafika class 7, me I just don't know what happened. When you mesema ikafunguka mbele. Ali lead mpaka KCPE, akaenda high school akapasua kupasua. He went to campus. Today he's an engineer.
Yes.
Nice.
And we knew, like tukiwa huko shule tukatoja I just don't know what miracle that happened in his life. Today he's an engineer.
Nice.
And he's very wise. So don't give up ukiona mtoto labda ako na issues. Maybe hiyo grace inaweza mfungukia uko mbele kwa kando. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Yes, kuna also students when unakuta up to class 3, class 2, class 3 bado hajajua mpaka kushika pen vizuri, bado ana struggle. But with patience, anafunguka na anakuwa very good at writing, anasoma vizuri, anaandika vizuri. So it's up to you, ukue very very patient with them. But I believe we've had a good time and all your questions zimejibiwa. About the late development or delayed development, we'll get some other time to yongele, because we've seen it's a whole topic on its own. So we'll get another time to yongele. But for today's, I know that all your questions have been answered. Yes.
Na Teacher Felix anakushukuru hapa, anasema good morning, the program is educative. I'm a teacher and there's this one learner who could not consistently write her name correctly kutoka form 1 mpaka form 4. I made efforts from form 1, lakini she used to write things that are not even related to English even after writing on board. I thank God she was able to grow socially. I learned SNEs, sijui ni nini hiyo in college.
Special needs education.
All right. But it wasn't that deep. Thank you for this session, Teacher Felix. Unaona sasa huyu alikuwa na understanding ya kwamba huwezi kuwa form 1 na ukuwe mpaka jina lako kuliandika. So hakuanza wewe na hii kichwa yako ulitoka wapi? Shindo.
Ulikuwa unaandika jina yako.
Asante sana.
Na anasema even socially huyo mtoto aliweza kugrow vizuri na akaweza kumguide vile ambavyo angeweza. Kwa hiyo walimu ni vizuri kujua kwamba unaweza ukamuona mwanafunzi ana behave in a particular way, si kwa sababu ameamua kuwa kichwa ngumu.
Ni ukweli.
Labda ni
maybe hana control, it's a condition.
Exactly.
So it's very good we understand them. And yes.